Oh, fuck. You're done.
What? Dude. What? Didn't even let me roll. No, dude. I'm not sure what's more fragile right now, my patience or Nate's health bar. Welcome back to Uncharted on Brutal Difficulty. I'm Matt York, and today we're starting on Chapter 14 with an impressive 867 deaths already. Chapter 14 starts with some climbing and platforming before we encounter our first set of enemies. And the first thing I learn here is that grenades are not as useful as they may seem. And this is immediately followed up by another death, so this is a great way to start the episode. I think you'll agree. After dying a few more times, I realized I should probably stop and assess the situation a little better.
Headshot. Where's the shotgunner?
It's over.
Oh,
Found him.
he's right there.
It takes a few more deaths, but eventually I figure out the strat. First, I take out the shotgunner, and then I use a grenade to take out the next couple enemies, hoping to funnel the last enemy to the right side here, where it's just much easier to take him out. Then it's the usual collect ammo, go through a door, and into the next arena.
Oh, this is, under normal circumstances, an incredibly tough 3-stage arena, I believe. So we definitely need to act before.
See? Tough arena. Psych! I actually make it on my next life, so suck it, haters. But first, in order to get out, you have to do this small bell puzzle, which is not tricky at all. The solution is you have to get both of them to ring at the same time, and the way to do that is to walk up to one and interact with it, and then quickly shoot the far one. Doing so will open up a secret door to head into the next area. Oh good, there's a checkpoint here, because I'm gonna die right now. Damn, how'd I know? I do make it through these enemies though by practicing patience and purposely aiming for headshots. Once you get through them, there's a little bit more platforming, and then you finally pop out of the catacombs into Chapter 15.
Cool. Chapter 15. Nice. Yeah, that whole thing could have gone a lot worse.
Yeah, seriously. But luckily Chapter 15 starts off with this easy platforming section before this enemy literally makes me drop to my death.
Oh.
These enemies aren't that difficult though, especially when they throw their grenades into the void or directly in front of their comrades. After taking them out, there's still more climbing.
Rip Vine. I miss Vine.
Me too, buddy. And this leads us to probably the worst platforming section of the entire game. The jank just makes everything impossible here. All the angles you have to jump at are super weird, and to make matters worse, there's literally only one checkpoint, and that's all the way at the beginning.
Again, just being precise and diligent about our placement.
And hope the game doesn't screw you over.
Never mind. See?
To make it through though, all you have to do is pull down on both of these keys by jumping through their sections, and then jumping onto this stained glass window that somehow doesn't break into a million pieces when you land on it. I climb out of the castle and into a decently big arena where I cannot stress the importance of learning enemy pathways. For instance, on this life, I learned about the sniper enemies and grenade launcher enemies that are hanging out in the back. I died anyway, but still.
Oh, guess he found me.
You know how when you don't know what to do in an arena, so you create a little strategy and it starts working, but then all of a sudden it stops working and you have no idea why, which causes you to double down on it even harder, even though you had no idea if it was going to continue to be a good strategy in the first place, and then it never works the way you need it to again, despite how much you believed it was going to work?
Dude.
Well, anyway, it took me until Life 902 to figure out a different strategy, and son of a bitch, this one works better. I was even able to make it as far as the stairs before I died, and that's when I realized that once again, there's only one fucking checkpoint here.
Dude. Why is he just one shot? Why are all the pistols just one shot?
Because he's a sniper? Do you think you could take more than one sniper bullet and live? I don't think so. Anyway, my revised strategy for this arena is to take out this guy first, because that makes it much easier for you to take out the sniper and grenade launcher enemies, but you do have to be kind of quick because these enemies come running up the stairs. I personally think that the pistol works great as a backup sniper if you have the time and ammo for it. And then for the second wave, I suggest climbing up this back area, which allows you to steal this enemy's Desert 5, which makes the rest of the enemies a piece of cake. From here, you collect a bunch of ammo and go into the room to meet back up with Elena and Sully. Naturally, we're stuck in here, but that's where Nate's notebook comes in handy. After looking at it, all you have to do is turn the clam twice to the left, the snake once to the left, and then the arrows twice to the right, and this should unlock a secret door. Go through that and into Chapter 16. Chapter 16 throws you right into a labyrinth to start off. It's honestly not difficult though, as you just need to follow the numbers 2, 5, and 7. Stupidly, I still managed to die on the literal first obstacle though. Okay, just need to be more patient. Note taken.
That's fair. Number 3 was pretty good.
Why would you do that? Third time's the charm though, and that's when I make it into the Wipeout section of this game. Hello America, welcome back to Wipeout. I'm your host, Matt Anderson, as always joined by my co-host, Matt Henson. Thank you, Matt. I'm excited to see our contestants take on our brand new Wipeout course. Now, our lawyers have assured us that this course is completely safe to watch at home or from a distance, like us. Up first to the plate is Nate Tomb Raider Drake. Let's see how he fares. Nate makes his first jump and clings to the side of the first obstacle, the steamy swings. Ooh, that's gotta be hot to the touch. Next, he makes his way up the slippery steps and through the next obstacle, Temple Run. Looks like Nate is able to dodge this one, ramming ahead with no challenger. Ooh, but here comes the next obstacle. Is he able to recover from giveaway lead? He does, Matt. Next, our contestant makes his way to the last obstacle of our course, the fiery fly swatters. You know, Matt, you better take his time on this section. A lot of our contestants fail right here. Ooh, looks like he gets battered away like a foul ball. Ooh, that's gonna leave a mark on the death counter. He's back for a second attempt and he makes it. Congratulations to our newest Wipeout winner, Nate Drake. You know, Matt, I'm gonna miss him. Well, you shouldn't be aiming for him then. Thank you so much, America. We'll see you on next week's episode of Wipeout. Good night and big balls. After climbing through a window, Nate fails a task successfully, which allows Elena through this big door. Then we randomly meet up with Eddie again, who kills us immediately. Awesome. Admittedly, this section is kind of difficult, but it's not as difficult if you take it a little slowly. I even ran out of ammo on the run where I made it, and Elena shot the last enemy, which was a grenade launcher, saving both of us. You take out a couple more enemies and then lower a double ladder all the way, but immediately get ambushed when you do. Luckily, it checkpoints right here. Another lucky thing is this old wooden rail somehow eating bullets like Tic Tacs. I take out a few enemies, but I leave the last one for Elena as I run away on these stairs. There's 3 more enemies, but they're pretty spread out, so you have to take them out a little more carefully. Then I run up these stairs, skip a cutscene, and great, now we're trapped in Chapter 17. After helping Elena up a broken ladder, Eddie runs into Nate. Instead of killing each other though, they decide to team up against these freaky as fuck monster things. Honestly, this area is pretty fun if you've ever played COD Zombies before. There's infinite ammo in this arena, so literally all you have to do is just run around in circles and shoot without aiming. It works 100% of the time, even after the cutscene. Eventually, Elena lowers a chain for us to climb out, and then the monsters decide that they can climb and chase us out too. I don't know how they decide when they can versus can't climb, because I feel like they should have been able to get Elena way sooner than they got us. But anyway, oh, holy shit, we're into Chapter 18 already.
Alright, we are making our way through this.
Chapter 18 starts with the most tetanus-inducing climb ever. Just listen to that slide. Nails on chalkboard, I swear. After auditioning for American Ninja Warrior, we just have to make this jump.
Alright, that sucks.
And restart from the beginning. An interesting thing about this section is that there's only 1 U-boat in this bay when it looks like there's space for 2. That's because we actually explored the first one all the way back in Chapter 3, which basically started this whole adventure. By the way, totally check out that episode if you haven't already. Now we just have to make the jump again.
Don't do it again! Why would you do it again?
Fuck. Okay. Third time's the charm.
4th is your favorite? Oh my god.
Never mind, I guess. I do make it on my 4th try though, which I guess is just making up for last chapter.
There we go.
I then head into the German bunker and I pick up an MP40 from the ground, as well as much ammo as I can. Now, I used to piss my pants in this chapter when I was a kid, because it was just so damn scary. But as an adult, I can confidently say I now only piss the bed. Hashtag bedwetter for life. But seriously, this chapter is not difficult at all if you just walk through it and give yourself plenty of space. All the monsters pretty much spawn at the end of the hallways, so just wait for them to run to you, and then you can shred through them like Swiss cheese. Once we get through all of them and make it down the last hallway, we find ourselves in the generator room.
This has got to be the generator room.
In the immortal words of Soulja Boy, we crank that handle, and great. Now every monster on the island is coming out of the walls. Chapter 19 starts with chaos as you try to make your way to the first generator switch. The real strategy here is just don't aim, because that'll only slow you down. Once you make your way to the end of the hall, just jump up to safety. Again, no idea why they aren't able to climb here and get you, but oh well, and pull the switch. Same idea for the second one, just run across the hall, shoot anything that moves, jump up, and pull the switch. Then you run back to the bunker where a cutscene tells us that these monsters are actually called Descendants, and they're Nazis. So this really is just COD zombies. More like they can descend into the pits of hell though, am I right? Up top. Because they start swarming the room, and it's like really tricky.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Once you finally get all of them though, you're able to finally escape, only to find out that Elena has been captured by Eddie and Roman. So now the chapter really begins. What works for me is using a grenade to take out the first couple of enemies, and then letting the Descendants fight off the rest of them, because it's honestly easier that way. Then I take out the rest after they're done fighting, and I let this Descendant take out this enemy too. Then I use the pistol to take out this sniper, because otherwise this whole arena would be way more annoying. Into the next section, there's a dragon sniper, which is great, but the enemies can throw grenades which totally destroy your cover. After dying a few more times, I realize that the best strat is to, again, let the Descendants take out as many enemies as possible, and then use the dragon sniper to pick off anyone else after. Another useful tip I figured out actually is that hip firing the pistol at close range is super effective against the Descendants. From there, just keep making your way through the arena, being sure to avoid the sniper fire from up top. Once you take him out though, and a few more Descendants, we're finally able to climb out and back into fresh air. Overall, this episode could have been way worse, given that we went through like 6 chapters. Chapter 14 started us off strong with 18 deaths. Chapter 15 got a little bit worse, but it really didn't feel like it with 21 deaths. Coincidentally, we got 16 deaths in chapter 16, which I just think is pretty cool. And magically, we got 0 deaths in chapter 17. 0, dude. I know, it was a ridiculously short chapter, but still. In chapter 18, we died 3 times, and all of them were to platforming. I'm not salty about that at all. Then chapter 19 took us home with 18 deaths. This all totals up for an easy 76 deaths this episode, which gives us 943 deaths for the series so far. And y'all, I just want to come clean. You deserve it. I'm sorry for lying. I know in the past couple episodes I've said, oh, next episode we're gonna hit 1,000 deaths for sure. And here we are, at the end of this episode, not at 1,000. But I've not so secretly already counted all the deaths for the next episode, and I can promise you it's over 1,000. In fact, I can even give you the sneak peek. Looks pretty good, right? That's gonna do it for this episode though. I hope you've enjoyed watching it as much as I've enjoyed making it. If you want to be super cool, you can hit the like button, and if you want to be super duper cool, you can hit the subscribe button too. Thanks. I'll leave a link to the last episode in the description below, as well as all my socials in case that's more your speed. But thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day. See you later. And the first thing I learned here is that grenades are fucking shit. People gotta scratch their butt. Oh well. Holy shit. Take out the other enemies, or at least let them... What? Okay, cool. Cool.